I wanted to touch on real quick on my rapid fire nothingness is all this Joe Budden stuff. Now, I said yesterday when I did my live and I broke down the Joe Budden thing that I wasn't going to talk about it on the pod, but this morning, Olivia Dope goes on her Instagram and she accuses Joey of sexual harassment and all of this other shit. Now, here's my problem with her accusations. I'm not giving her any burn, not playing any of it. It is posted and everything lit, however. But here's my issues. First and foremost, this happened nearly 4 months ago when you were still on the See the Thing Is This podcast. Since then, you have left the podcast. You made a public statement on Instagram and Twitter. Bridget and Mandy both addressed you on the podcast, and there was a little bit of a shade between you and Bridget. And since then, there has been silence. You have said nothing. Right? Again, my other issue with the whole thing is she admits in her little statement that when they went on break in between segments, Joey asked her if she was okay, how she was feeling. And instead of saying, you know what, I feel harassed, I feel objectified, I feel all of these things that she claimed to have felt, she told him she didn't feel anything, she was okay. I have a problem with that. You can't be a grown-ass woman talking about you protect your peace and all of these other things, but you are not woman enough to own your true feelings about how you feel about some shit. If somebody says something and does some shit to you that you do not like, that does not make you feel good, and then that same person asks you because maybe they feel like they went too far, maybe they understood there was a better way of handling it and maybe they should have. So they want to make sure that you're good, and you say that you're good. All you're doing is robbing them of an opportunity to apologize. I don't like that. Another thing that I don't like about her statement is, and I'm not excusing Joe Budden's behavior, not at all. But what I am saying is, you don't know him, he don't know you. Joe has went on the record to say almost 80% of the shit that he does in front of a camera is for the sake of content. He gets paid to produce content and to talk. So when he has a podcast on his network that cannot produce the numbers that he needs for it to produce, so one of the things that he did to help get the numbers up is to actually show up, which happens to be the episode he got COVID, but that's a whole nother conversation. He shows up to your podcast to help your podcast. So of course he's going to do too much. Also, I ain't never heard of a straight man not telling another straight woman that he wants to fuck her. Also, Olivia, as beautiful as I used to think you were before you did this live, you need to take a look in the mirror and then go look at some of Joe's work. You need to take a look at the chick that he's sporting on Instagram and look at yourself and ask yourself, was he really serious, bruh? You're not his type, beloved. If there's one thing we Joe Budden fans know, he likes extremely augmentated bitches. Big ass, big titties. He would never fuck an Olivia Dope. He might do some weird Joe Budden shit like jerk off on you or some shit. I say that to say, you took jokes and barbershop humor, podcast joking, to the extreme to try to accuse this man of sexually harassing you. Then you got these weak ass bitches talking and supporting you. All of this feminism bullshit. Listen, I blame you for not knowing who the fuck you work for. And I blame Bridget for not educating you of who the fuck you work for. You should have knew exactly who Joe Budden was when you decided to work for his network. How do you decide to sign contracts that you work on a podcast that is under his network when you don't know shit about him? A quick Google search will let you know he's a whole creep.